they want static. I finna pull them, let them have it. I finna pull up, let them have it. Little luxury, I know they want static. I know niggas don't want static, pull them.
What is good, YouTube? Welcome to the first ever video on the George Rondo Show channel. And in this video, we're going to be breaking down the top 10 point guards of all time in the NBA. Basically, point guard is one of the most difficult positions to play in probably all sports. When you're a point guard in basketball, you have to make sure your whole team is in check. You are the player that makes everything else work. And for this list, I'm going off every player in their prime. Like every single player in their prime. Not at a peak of their career, just like every player in their prime. Alright, so at number 10, we have Rajon Rondo. When Rondo was in his prime on the Celtics, he was one of the best point guards to play basketball. He would get like games where he would have assists with 20, like in the the numbers would be in the 20s. It's crazy. It's basically, it's different. No one's seen stuff like this before. Rajon Rondo would have like 10 points, 15 boards, 25 assists. He was that kind of point guard, and that people wouldn't put him on a top 10 list, but I put him on just for that. And he had his best 2 years in 2010 and 2011 where he averaged a double-double. He came, in many other years, he came close to averaging a double-double. But in those 2 years, he averaged double-doubles with 11 assists and 11 points. That's just different. At number 9, we have Chris Paul. Chris Paul is one of the best floor generals the league has ever seen. And for his career, his long career, Chris Paul's long career, he almost averages a double-double, and he has 18.5 points. He has 18.5 points and like 9-point-something points. That is amazing. That's a different level ball control, different level passing. Like, he's been in the league for so long, and he averages almost a double-double with 18 points average. That's crazy. Coming in at number 8, we have Jason Kidd. Jason Kidd, a great leader on and off the court. We've seen what he could do as a coach. It wasn't really that good, wasn't really that bad. But Jason Kidd, he too almost averaged a double-double for his whole career. Jason Kidd's one of those point guards that just has championship DNA. Like, when you hear Jason Kidd, you're like, oh, that's an all-time great. And most of us, we didn't get to see what Jason Kidd did at the beginning of his career. We just seen what he did at the end, and we just seen, oh, that's great. I have to respect this man because he's doing something good. Coming in at number 7, we have Steve Nash. When someone just randomly asks you, oh, think of an NBA point guard, you think Steve Nash. Steve Nash won back-to-back MVPs, and he's one of the most elite point guards on this list. He too, like most of the other players on this list, almost averaged a double-double for his career. And in order for you to be an elite point guard, you have to get off for yourself, but you also have to help your teammate to get off. And that's what a lot of these guys on this list did. A lot of the guys on this list helped their teams get off. Coming in at number 6, we have John Stockton. John Stockton was way before my time, but I have to put him on this list because who do you think Steve Nash looked up to? Who do you think the people before John Stockton looked up to? They looked up to John Stockton. John Stockton averaged a double-double for his career. And he was just one of the most crafty point guards with the ball in league history. One of the most crafty. Like, you didn't know if he was going to shoot or if he was going to throw one of the craziest passes you ever seen. You just didn't know what was coming. At number 5, we have Russell Westbrook. Now, if you know me, I don't really like Westbrook. I think Westbrook is one of the most toxic NBA players of all time. But the things he does on the court is extraordinary. He'll give you a triple-double whenever you need it. So he's not a bad point guard. He's not. Like, if he's averaging a triple-double for 2 straight seasons, almost 3 straight seasons, then man is an elite point guard. But I just feel like he'll never win because of his toxicity. So that's why I have him at 5. If he was able to win, if he was able to take his skill and be a winner with his skill, he'd be way higher on this list. But the fact that he's not a winner leaves him at 5. At number 4, we have the original triple-double machine, Oscar Robertson. Oscar did the things that Russell Westbrook is doing now back when people barely even knew what a triple-double was. He was averaging a triple-double for a whole season as a point guard, and like no one knew like what was going on at that time. No one knew that he was so special and so great because no one else has done that for so long until recently when Russell Westbrook has just started averaging triple-doubles. Oscar Robertson is one of the most gifted point guards the NBA has ever seen. And it's not like he was a big guard. Like, these big guards are taking over the league. If you're a big guard, you're going to be elite. You have to be elite. Unless you're, like, just not good at the game. If you're not good at the game, then you're going to have to find a different position. You can't play big and play point guard if you're not, like, passive aggressive. If you don't know when to take the shot, know when to pass the ball. You have to, like, you just have to have that mindset to be a big point guard. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. Number 3, we have Isaiah Thomas. And no, I'm not talking about the Isaiah Thomas from the Boston Celtics. Hell no. I'm talking about Isaiah Thomas from the Bad Boy Pistons. Isaiah Thomas gets this number 3 spot because he was one of the toughest point guards the league has ever seen. He was so tough and so gritty. And while he was getting beat up for half the games, he was still managing to help his team win. That's what got him the number 3 spot. At number 2, I know this one's going to get y'all mad. At number 2, we have Stephen Curry. I know this is going to be the one that gains controversy. But Stephen Curry is one of the most important people in the history of basketball. He changed the game of basketball in front of our eyes. And while doing that, he was still able to manage being the backbone for his team. Like, without Stephen Curry, that team was not the same. And everybody knows that's true. Coming in at number 1, we have Magic Johnson. This is just a no-brainer. If you think of best point guard of all time, Magic Johnson comes into your head. Magic Johnson is probably the best floor general the NBA has ever seen. And it's because he was the first ever big guard. He was the first, 6'6" to 6'7" guard that played the point guard. Usually people at that position in his time were playing small forward, maybe even power forward. But no, Magic Johnson came in and was playing point guard and played it right. The man won Rookie of the Year and not Rookie. I apologize. He probably won Rookie of the Year too. I haven't checked into that yet. He won Finals MVP and a championship in his rookie year. That's different. Finals MVP and a championship in his rookie year. The only player to ever do that. Magic Johnson gets the number 1 spot, and he's the best point guard of all time in the NBA. Now that's it for this video. Don't forget to like and subscribe for way more content just like this. Appreciate you. Thanks for watching.
I ain't no fucking lame. I thought he loved me, but I did it. I ain't feel the same. Them kids are talking down because I started switching lanes, but I hated being broken, so I started getting pain. Man, I'm dealing with depression, but my eyes gon' calm the pain. Almost had a kid, but God forbid my life could really change. Man, I'm dealing with depression, but my eyes gon' calm the pain. Almost had a kid, but God forbid my life could really change.